Well, voters in Indiana and Ohio are heading to the polls today in key primaries that the White House is very closely watching. The Buckeye State is setting up a contest that could determine who controls the Senate.
And over in the Hoosier state, President Trump is pushing to unseat 7 Republican lawmakers who voted against his redistricting efforts last year. NBC News correspondent Shaquille Brewster joins us now from St. John, Indiana, just north of Indianapolis. Great to see you, Shaq. So you talked to voters there in that district. What do they think about the president's campaign to essentially punish Republicans who defied him? And what are they saying about the overall state of the country right now?
Hi there, and good afternoon to you. You know, it's definitely a mixed bag in those conversations that I've been having here in one of those districts that are being represented by one of those Republicans who voted against the president's plan to redistrict and draw more Republican-friendly maps. President Trump calling that incumbent a Republican in name only, and even endorsing a challenger for him in this election. And this redistricting battle, based on the conversations I've been having, have been top of mind for some voters. I want you to listen to some of those conversations now. You wanted to see the state redistrict its congressional lines.
That's right. I just came out here to show my disapproval and hopefully adjust it going forward.
There's 2 candidates that were out here supporting, or one of them that was supporting the redistricting effort and one of them that wasn't. And so because I was not supporting that effort, I voted against that candidate.
If Trump endorsed them, I voted for him.
You like how directly some people are sometimes. But let's be clear, in all the conversations, voters have still said that the economy, gas prices are top of mind for them. Many of them able to describe by the dollar amount how much more they're paying in gas. But for this partisan primary election where voters are deciding between which Republican they want or which Democrat they want, they say it's not something that's shifting their vote altogether, but could be a factor when you look at things come November. Guys.
Shaq Brewster there in the field for Shaq. We so appreciate it.
We thank you for watching. And remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.